So with regard to emotions and whether or not you feel happy or unhappy, the key to not being unhappy, the key to getting away from unhappiness is structure, is control. The key to happiness is self-control. So if you want to avoid unhappiness, you have two options. You either control yourself or you allow somebody else to control you. If you want to be happy, then you have to control yourself. So, I think that's the essence of that. Maybe I should go a little further than that because that's a really short video. Um, so, what exactly is happiness? Well, happiness is a combination of joy and contentedness, and it's actually a higher order self. So, as animals, animals feel pleasure and pain, whereas human beings, because we are a higher order species, I mean, we have the ability to abstract and the ability to think logically. Our equivalent to pleasure and pain is joy and what's the word I'm looking for? It's suffering, right? So joy and suffering is like pleasure and pain. Because again, we're a higher order species. But it's not just joy. Joy can be short term. You also have to be contentedness, and contentedness is something that directly has to be earned. So, for example, being content with the amount of money that you make. So, if you don't make enough money, you're going to be poor. Poor people are often not content people. It's being poor is very stressful. Versus if you have all the basic things taken care of and you're not worried about it, you think, okay, no problem. If such and such happens, I have the money to cover that. So you're not really stressed out. That is a state of contentedness, for example. It could also be, people have social anxiety. Obviously, are not content people. But if you have experienced, you're used to talking to people, then you're content. You have no problem being around people. So those are examples. So going back to what I said before, if you really want to be happy, you need to do self-control. Self-control to produce the resources to make you content, and the self-control to direct yourself to things that you would feel joy from without sacrificing things that you'd be content with. So in other words, you don't do drugs because in the long term you're not going to be content with that, and certainly you're not going to be joyful of that, although it might produce a short-term high. So being happy, for example, making a certain amount of money, well, you could direct yourself to start a business or direct yourself to a promotion, whatever you do to create the values to earn the money. So anyway, and then going back to not, being unhappy, well, if you had somebody else direct you in a functional way, you're not going to do something like being a drug addict or whatever that might be. So that's my video on, being happy and avoiding unhappiness.